All right, so, mm, okay. You know what? Okay, now you can hear me, right? Hello, testing one, two, three. You pick it up, pick it up. Yep, it's picking it up. Okay. This morning I was pondering. I have here I have a MacBook Pro 2025. No, 2022. Sorry, cost me an arm and a leg. Bought it for work actually. The display is by every account like technically superior. If you go to a marketing site, oh man, will it ever like get you like juiced up about HDR, vibrant colors, gajillion to one contrast ratio? At least on Apple's site it did. It's mini LED. And here I have a I wish I had like a camera to show you. Fuck. I have a really old ViewSonic 2703. I remember the number. It's really old. But despite it having a lower contrast, worse blacks, like just worse everything, worse resolution, worse DPI. So its DPI is pretty low. Obviously, the Macs are notorious for having incredibly high DPI, and as my eyes are getting worse and worse over the years from aging, like I noticed, like I can't see fine details the way I used to when I was younger. And when you're younger, I feel like you can see like pinpoint details on things. Like it has to do with astigmatism, I think. But anyway, because it improves in brighter light and it gets worse in yeah. So anyway, I was baffled at why when I look at the monitor, it really feels like my eyes feel like relaxed and comfortable, and then when I look at my MacBook, I get eye strain, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought, man, probably it's because my eyes are bad now. You know, like I can't focus well on the MacBook Pro screen. But then I get this crazy video in my feed. I swear to God, YouTube must be monitoring what I'm saying on the mic, or it's psychic, or something's going on. But like, it's the reflections. Galen and I were talking about this the other day. If you look at the Samsung Galaxy, like I forget what the flagship is now, for some reason it kicks Apple's latest whatever out of the water. At least even on camera it did. I couldn't figure out why. And then Galen noticed, like, yeah, because it has like no reflections. Is that important? Okay, like you ask yourself, nits, brightness, OLED, 300 hertz displays. What's the value? Oh, super deep blacks, which, you know, OLEDs nail it, right? OLEDs have perfect blacks by nature. What's the value of no reflections? Well, look at this. Marcus Brownlee, I like this guy a lot, man. He makes me happy. His text videos are so tech. You know? He's reviewing this phone called the NXTPAPER by TCL 40. And I'm just going to play it, okay? Because it's good.
40 next paper. And at first glance, it might not appear to be a particularly special phone. Like, this is a $200 budget Android phone. It's got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, a pretty standard issue 50 megapixel main camera, flanked by a 5 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro. And inside, a MediaTek G88 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs of storage. This design is pretty basic. It's squared up, nothing too offensive, a solid blue color with some sparkles in it, but it has exactly one really interesting feature that's caught my attention, and that's the screen. So this screen, you're looking at a 6.78 inch flat 1080p 90 hertz display, but when you put it up next to another phone, that's when you immediately notice something is very different about it, mainly that there are no reflections at all. None. Well, almost none. So this phone is called the NXTPAPER because it has what
I want to point out one thing, right? It doesn't look impressive until he moves it. Just watch. Yeah, you have to see him move the phone, you see? Hold on. See? He moves it, you see? It is the motion of the reflection on the left phone, which may have superior stats, better res, all that jazz that people sell you on the sites. What the right phone offers you is consistency. You rotate the phone, move it around, it doesn't really show glassy reflections. To be fair, is he really moving the right phone? But like, don't you feel like on the camera at least, the right phone is superior? Even though the colors may be worse and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all the other tech specs, the left one might be better. But overall, the right one looks higher quality. Crazy. Right? And the only reason why is because the right one, man, the company just advertising it. All we ever did with this phone, we used an El Cheapo CPU, El Cheapo everything, but we made like huge strides into eliminating the glare. Almost like a tech demo. I'm not even sure if this is a functional phone, but it's like a tech demo of what's possible should you put effort into it. And my reaction to this was, this is amazing. This is something that Apple could have focused on. And the reason why I say this is amazing is because, look, if Apple did focus on this, and let's say they got a lot of power, right? They got a lot of money. They got a lot of R&D, okay? If they worked their ass off and said, we're gonna have like a phone that has equal display specs to what they have now, but instead of going like doubling and tripling down on selfie cameras, they said our displays have absolutely zero glare, and in all sunlight, it's like your phone's just hyper visible like paper. Like they made incredible strides in basically making the best full color, it's like paper display. And not only is the display looking like paper, Marcus remarks later that when you touch it and scroll it, it feels textury like paper. It feels nice. You know, when I use this old iPhone 10, I don't like it. I feel like I'm using something very brittle. I drop it, it's already cracked, by the way. It's gonna crack. It slides in your hand. It's just not a very usable phone. It's pretty, it impresses people, but functionally something's missing. I can't explain it, right? And the TCL company, they've gone out and like they made a texture, like he'll talk about it later. The way you touch the phone, it feels nice to touch, you know? Like a real thing to touch. This, I think, is why I just can't back Apple in anything anymore. I mean, the one good thing about Apple is they're like, you know, they got great CPUs, right? Their ARM tech is just really amazing. But their efforts have gone the wrong way. Again, marketing people have now taken control of that company. They have. You know, bottom lines, profit margins. Okay, let's keep watching the video because I'm just talking way too much.
Mainly that there are no reflections at all. None. Well, almost none. So this phone is called the NXTPAPER because it has what TCL is calling a full color electronic paper display to deliver a reflection-free, full color.
Look at that. Did you see that? That's amazing to me. Look, I don't want to overhype shit, but the way he shakes that phone, look at this.
To deliver a reflection-free, full color, paper-like visual experience.
Holy shit, that looks amazing. I can't be alone in this.
Which looks way better, has much less fatigue on the eyes, and also feels better in the hand. And so my first thought when I first saw this was, okay, why doesn't every phone have this? Like, how is it a super cheap budget phone that's the first one I've seen to pull this off, and why aren't more phones doing this? What am I missing here? And so, of course, I had to use it to get all of these answers. So, okay, TCL calls it the NXTPAPER because they'd like you to think of it as just like an e-paper display. If you've ever seen a Kindle or any of the other various e-ink displays out there, that tech is actually kind of sick. It's amazing. It minimizes fatigue on the eyes, and it looks and feels like...
I want to interject, though, that I don't like the Kindle. I've seen it, I've used it, my wife used it. I was like, not really so much into, I mean, is it? I don't know. A book is still far superior in terms of legibility. And honestly, like, in terms of like raw, like, digested information per hour, I feel like the ViewSonic display I have here, yeah, it's not, what a dumb name, right? ViewSonic 2703, unglamorous as fuck. But it has a very nice anti-glare coating. It does. It's an IPS, very nice coating. I tweaked the settings to cut the blue light like crazy. It's very like yellowish to some people, but I like it that way because it looks more natural. And for me right now, it looks really good. I'm comparing like that display I'm having right now, the ViewSonic, to the MacBook Pro, much more expensive, mini LED. I don't like the mini LED. It looks bluish, it looks reflective, it looks computery. It looks computery. I can't explain it. I don't want a computery screen. I want an organic paper like the old days paper kind of screen, but in full color. I enjoy color. I don't want to have black and white. Sorry. Color is good, okay? So like I wish more displays. Look, the thing is, I have to test. I have to find out. I don't know how good the TCL. It might look like shit when I have it in my hands. Only way to find out is to try it,
Like something's literally printed on a piece of paper, like a newspaper in front of you. It works great in all sorts of different lighting because it's literally rearranging actual ink underneath the display. But this is actually not that. Instead, it's an LCD display with a textured glass on top and some software tricks to resemble a paper-like display and deliver almost all of the eye comfort benefits that come with it. So the result is basically what looks like a normal smartphone screen with zero reflections, and I am very into that. Like, look at this screen next to a glossy, regular smartphone glass screen. Typically, when I review phones, like, I have to spend a lot of effort shielding these displays from reflections. That's a little known fact in this. I guess it's kind of inside baseball, but when you shoot reflective things, it is a challenge. I have to angle the phone certain ways, I have to shoot in certain environments, and I often use what we call a flag here, which is literally just to slide it in at a certain angle to block reflections and make the screen easier to see.
I want to say, in a general principle, I don't like things that perform exceptionally well in 10% of cases. I don't like weddings. I don't like birthday parties. I like above average performance every day. Why I bring this up is, this looks amazing, right? Like even on a camera, it looks like the colors are popping off. Yeah, you can tell. I think because there's a slight reflection. Is that a reflection here? Like, a reflective screen has a very nice shiny jewelry look to it, okay? Like, it looks like precious. And then in the perfect conditions, like, you have a lot of, let's say, what I call indirect light. Like, you don't have any direct light source reflecting off of it. It does look amazing. But let's be honest, in practical use, how often are you going to use your phone under what they call look at the effort that he has to make. The effort he has to make, just to, hold on, the effort he has to make. Look at this crazy effort he has to do just to shoot the fucking phone. I mean, in a good condition. You're not gonna have this, obviously, right? You just will move and you're somewhere else, whatever. But look at this, right? It's insane. Like, yo, what? This is what tech is supposed to solve. Things like this. It's annoying, you know, if a reflected screen, like light bouncing off of it, is not good enough for a YouTube vid. Why should you accept that every day for your own use? It's almost misleading at some point, isn't it?
That special treatment, like it's happy thing. But with this matte display, I mean, I just don't need any of that special treatment. Like it's happy to show up at any angle. And the angles that would normally have a giant reflection, it just kind of looks a little bit lighter, a little faded, but still actually readable. And then when you're straight on, or just kind of regularly reading, it's nice and soft and it's less stressful on the eyes. It is kind of weirdly a little bit paper-like, like some of those paper-like displays. So almost all of this is enabled by hardware. So there are a bunch of extra layers between the actual LCD display and you, including this textured glass. And so that's all what gives it this anti-reflective look. There's also some other benefits, like physically limiting the amount of blue light that makes it through. So instead of a special mode in the software, there is just physically less blue light making it through an additional filter into your eyes. And another underrated one, the feel. I mean, literally the way the glass feels under your finger. It kind of has this soft touch effect thanks to the slight texture. So you can actually see the difference up at the cutout at the top. You obviously can't do textured glass over the front-facing camera because that would ruin the photos. Not that they're amazing photos in the first place, but that's the most eyes. And another underrated one, the feel. I mean, literally the way the glass feels under your finger. It kind of has this soft touch effect thanks to the slight texture. So you can actually see the difference.
Look at this. It's like the screen's like jutting out of the casing. And it's like, it looks like it's printed on, honestly. I mean, one thing I often noticed, if you look at the really old iPhone and iPads, you can tell like the protective glass is quite a bit, like the actual screen is beneath the glass. It's bad. Like it puts more, like the closer you bring that screen to the glass, there's less reflections, right? This is kind of puzzling. It looks like it's beneath it, yet there's like a lot of, it's buried underneath. It looks weird, honestly. It does look like the screen is an actual object, like with an imprinted look on it. Have to see in person. Just get rid of this. Just get rid. Do you need a selfie? I don't know. Whatever.
Up at the cutout at the top. You obviously can't do textured glass over the front-facing camera because that would ruin the photos. Not that they're amazing photos in the first place, but that's the most obvious spot where you can see that difference between the matte finish and glossy glass. And my finger just runs over this glass almost the same way that it does on the back of the phone. So I think all this shaping up to be pretty cool. The matte finish, the basically zero reflections, the much lower eye strain, the soft touch finish. There's also stylus support, as TCL makes a stylus that actually works with this type of screen. So what's the catch? Why don't more phones have this on them? And you're probably one step ahead of me already, which is, yeah, there are some downsides. So first of all, a bunch of extra layers on the display itself is gonna have some obvious drawbacks, but mainly it's just that they're cutting a lot of light. Like it hurts a lot of sharpness and just total light getting through to you. So this is the absolute maximum 100% brightness of this screen, and it's 450 nits. So it's good enough to read indoors as you've seen, but outdoors it's gonna get pretty. This is the absolute maximum 100% brightness of this.
Like, I hate to put these like woman analogies all the time, but it's true. This is the one with all that makeup, the heavy lipstick, pouty lips, all that shit. Okay, her fucking cleavage is showing like crazy, ass sticking out, and people go, "Oh my god, oh fuck, that looks amazing," right? This is the nice girl, you know, down to earth, jeans, t-shirt. Doesn't get any attention, but she'll take care of you. she'll make you. She'll take good care of your eyes. Okay, I don't know which one you want to go with. Okay, and you make one fucking mistake, she goes. This one goes, fuck. I'm done. I'm done. You dropped me once. I'm fucking done. Goodbye. This one, I don't know how durable this one is. I tell you, durability of a smartphone without it looking like a bulky, like Big Bertha model. Man, you tell me, look, Apple iPhone 16, nothing but it has really good colors. It's bright, when it has to be. Has zero reflections. Your fingers feel great on it. It just, when you feel it, it's like this impeccable, like touching of a nice surface, you know, it's so nice to touch a screen. People just can't stop rubbing their hands on it. I'm just kidding. It sounds like really like erotic and shit, but like, think of it, right? You actually enjoy the feel of the screen, all right? And you can drop, your kid can slam it against a fucking table and it will not break. Don't tell me that has no value. I bet you that kind of phone, you price it at even $1,000, I might even splurge. Oh yeah, and don't fucking make me replace it in the next 10 years. Good luck with that.
Screen, and it's 450 nits. So it's good enough to read indoors, as you've seen, but outdoors it's going to get pretty quickly washed out and is disappointingly dim. Now again, this is a $200 phone, so I think if this was an even higher end phone with a brighter LCD or an OLED back there, maybe it could solve or help some of these issues, but that wouldn't fix the other one, which is sharpness. So this is a 1080p display, as I've said, but it doesn't even really look like that. I mean, I think if I asked you what resolution you think this is, or if I did a blind test or something, it would compare pretty closely to a 720p display. I mean, text is soft, edges of things are soft, all the corners are soft. It just all kind of has a little bit of a glow to the edges, which again makes things nice and easy to look at. Like, nothing is harsh or super bright or fatiguing on the eyes, but if it's a sharp photo or a video detail you're after, then putting a bunch of layers between your eyeballs and the actual display is not the best way to see those details. And then same thing with contrast. Just because of how much brightness is limited, the lack of contrast becomes really obvious. This one's rated at just 1500:1 contrast ratio, which even when compared to other budget phones is not that great. Oh, and then screen protectors. People usually put screen protectors on their phones, and this one would obviously not make sense to put a screen protector on. So suddenly in this world of feature-rich smartphones with all these big, bright, clear displays, this goes from being an advantage to being a niche feature. Because most people aren't willing to sacrifice the downsides that come with maybe a little bit less eye strain and less reflections for a matte display. This isn't like a desktop screen where most people are buying it just based on the panel and the visual display properties. There's a bunch of stuff about a phone people care about, and turns out people do not like that trade-off. So I've talked about all kinds of other niche features.
Look. The way the camera zooms in when he says this, look carefully. You see that? Where it zooms in, it says, it turns out that people do not like it. I think Marcus is being a little bit, he's trying to jab at people. The idiocy of consumers. I swear to God, if you didn't think this was a stupid thing, why the quick zoom? Why? He went out of his fucking way to do this. But I think this guy is a master at staying neutral, inoffensive, likable by everyone. I mean, he has his own opinions, no doubt. But I mean, as a extremely popular, YouTuber, he's got to be really neutral about shit, doesn't he? Otherwise, people are just gonna go away, or like there'll be like so stupid like commenters like flaming him all the time. But I know this man to be, he loves tech. I mean, he loves it not for the glamour. He loves it because he uses it himself. And you ask him, look, is it important? I mean, Apple knows it too, by the way. I know they made these crazy displays, like for the the I forgot what it was called. The one, maybe that's the one he has in the background. But you would pay literally $6,000 US, even 8,000, if you wanted the anti-glare version. It's that expensive. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely insane. I'm just saying. I think he wishes this is more commonplace, as opposed to going full glare all the time. I think studies have shown that people just like shiny shit, and I do too. Look, I'm not saying shiny is bad. I'm just saying put shiny on shiny things that are like in your room. Like, for example, I don't know, like I have light fixtures in my room that are really like, they're shiny, they're metallic. It gives the room sparkle. You know, what I don't get is like you go to a Japanese room, everything's so dull and matte and colorless and lifeless, and the phone is so shiny and colorful. Well, this is backwards. Okay? Like the room having something's having no value other than being decorative. Well, put some bling on then. You know, put some, and then on a phone that's functional, make it matte. Make it really functional. You know? I don't get it sometimes, but whatever. Keep watching.
Turns out people do not like that trade-off. So I've talked about all kinds of other niche features in the smartphone world and how they're awesome, but won't actually sell a ton of phones. This is like the perfect addition to that pile. I mean, TCL has these special NXTPAPER modes in the software, and when you turn one of them on, one's called color paper, and it goes the extra mile to, turn down saturation a little bit and reduce the extra vibrant colors. It adds some texture and everything. It literally looks like your smartphone screen is like a colored piece of paper with like your icons in colored ink moving around. And then you can go all the way up to ink paper, which goes full black and white. It seems silly to most people, but when you compare it to an actual e-ink display, that's when it looks amazing. Like an actual e-reader is the least fatiguing version on your eyes. But if you've ever used one, you know that frame rates are pretty slow.
Just want to say, like, I mean, I don't want a phone that has like that tries to draw attention to the e-ink part, you know? Why can't this be a baseline feature of a decent phone, eh? The no selfie cam. Stop engineering that shit in so hard. It seems like it's pretty fucking hard to solve this problem. Some people honestly just don't need a selfie cam. I'd much rather have a clean front, okay? Clean back, okay? No jutting fucking like camera, okay? No jutting no fucking agenda shit in your phone. You know, you gotta promote this, promote. Is that so hard? I guess it is. And then like a zero reflection. You can slam it on a wall, it won't break. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too difficult.
Like you can hardly get like even a real page turning book animation on some of the absolute bleeding edge best versions we have. So a smartphone with a special hardware layer that gets close to the same visual level but is 90 hertz, fully responsive, full color, and can do anything your phone can do on top of being an e-reader is technically awesome, which is why TCL also makes a tablet version of this and another phone version of this. It is super cool, but almost no one's gonna buy it. And that's why not every other phone is going out to do this too. At least for now, anyway.
Yo, Loki, read his body language. A bit of irritation and disappointment. Hey, maybe I'm going too far. I'm just filling in the fucking blanks when there's nothing to be filled, hey? But to me, I think as he's a tech guy, he loves actually good tech. He's a very smart dude, obviously. This guy's like fucking brilliant, I think. To produce a shit he's been producing for YT, he's a smart man. And I really feel this guy is a little bit disappointed that smartphone tech has not moved in this manner. They go where the money is, what sells in stores. But by and large, what sells the best in stores sometimes isn't the best for people. You know what I'm trying to say? You look at the food world. What sells really good are potato chips and shit tons of coffee with sugar. That ain't good for you, man. That is not good for you. But I mean, hey, if the owners of those companies, the shareholders, the banks behind them, their kids go to Switzerland, some fucking Swiss school, and life's chill, I guess, okay. But it's kind of shitty, man. I know he wants it, and I want one, too. That's it. That's all I have to say.